computer and
It
back.
says recording.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we've got our eggs, and I'm going to move our little faces. If anybody cannot see this because our faces are in the way, say so, and we will tell you how to remedy that. Oh, and I apologize. I know that in past classes, I've been able to make this screen larger. The plus size of how I'm sharing my sketchbook today is that it doesn't drop the way it used to, but the downside is that I can't make it any bigger. Oh, it's too bad. Maybe Gail has figured some of this out.
I don't know.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. So Gail, I'm using QuickTime, and it's great.
Oh.
It's plugged in with an actual cord into my computer.
Oh, wow.
I never lose the connection, but I can't adjust it at all. So let's see. In the sketchbook, I have some water, and I have a nice stack of paper towels across the room. Oh, and as you guys who've been in the class for a while know, you can just sketch away at anything you like while you're waiting for me to kind of stumble along with my nose. So I've got the eggs up here. And really, I wanted us to just get the paints out. Open the paint box, get the water out, and play around. I'm going to take this boring yellow egg for now.
Really boring.
Really boring. Okay, I'm not trying to crush your spirit. I promise. But this is like the test. Oh, all kinds of, and I see it in your light. It's deadly boring, and there's no background. Oh, goodness. Well, it's all right just for now. We're
that's what we're supposed to.
All right.
Good for us.
You know, I'm doubting it as I speak.
It's good. No, keep it.
Okay.
I like that egg. Looks like a person.
Okay.
The face. Yes.
Right.
What I want you to notice even now is, like, look how messy my paint box is. So I don't tend to clean it out until I have to. And right now I'm warming up. I'm just seeing, so I'm using my white. My white's with all kinds of other stuff. So I thought I'd just kind of find out what's in there. Kind of waking up, thinking, how am I gonna mix those eggy colors? And then I wanted to see, well, what's in my white anyway? Very gray. Now I think I'll play around. Well, what about in yellow, which is very green? That's very yellow. I think, so maybe I don't need to say everything out loud, but what I'm doing here is sort of exploring. I'm not even sure why I took some of this greeny blue, but I wanted to find out what was in that corner of my paint box. Often I put dark mixes over here, and I keep my lighter yellow, oranges, and pinks up here. Now I feel like I'm a little bit more awake in terms of my paint box, and because there's so little white in my box, I'm going to take some of this Chinese white, and now I'm wondering if I even put that on the list for people. But if I didn't, you've probably got a pretty new box with a fairly fresh white in it. As you know, the white will never, or some of you, as you experienced watercolorists know, the white will not make it any lighter, ever. It will never beat the white of the page, but it will give you a bit of a neutral and a little bit of, it'll give you some opacity, just a tiny bit, and that can be helpful. And I was thinking about that as I look at the egg. Now I've got a bit of yellow ochre, which is this color up here, which what comes to mind is a student who said, oh, you mean the cat puke color? So I hope you don't feel that way about it, but I use it a lot. Ooh, look. So a little bit of that and a little bit of white. The white kind of neutralizes the intensity of it. Oops. Stay awake, little phone. I'm actually gonna stop and I'm gonna go to settings and I'm going to go to display and brightness, auto lock, never. Oops. Have to- Never auto lock, please. And that.
Here's Chrissy. Chrissy came in.
Yep, hi.
Hi, Chris.
Yep.
Hi, Chrissy.
Little late. Too many phone calls that I'll probably be receiving when I'm on this. I'm trying not to, but.
That's okay. It's
So
nice.
what are we doing? Doing this egg?
Yeah, and I'm going super slow playing around with my paint box. And we didn't do any introductions yet. I wanted us to just get some eggs under our belt. That does sound a little strange. But I wanted us to do a little bit of painting and warming up before we talked a lot. Sorry, I'm trying to show you both eggs and
Yes.
my thinking. I just wandered over to a little bit of white paint and a little bit of yellow ochre. And now I'm thinking, oh, and so sometimes you can barely see what's happening. Now I'm wondering, how would the ultramarine blue, which might be sort of a mix in my box with who knows what else, ultramarine blue and a little bit of burnt umber, the dark brown, or maybe just burnt umber. How would that look? What if I take some burnt umber? Oh, and now I'm going to play around. I thought, what about the burnt sienna, which often in this particular box is right next to the yellow ochre. And if I talk too much, just tune me right out. You might even prefer not to have my volume on, depending on your learning style. Ooh. So I think anything will work because our main concern is value. You might even make a blue egg, but I'm going to go with a little bit of the burnt umber and the burnt sienna and a little bit of the white to kind of neutralize it. And I'm going to think about make a little circle here. And I tried to make it very light because I know this side is light, so I don't want to get too dark. We're noticing that the light is coming from over here on the sunlight is coming from the upper left and shining, making kind of a highlight there. And it's my contention that you can paint anything with, if you identify a light source, even if you're inventing things, the light source gets you most of the way there.
Margaret, excuse me, are we supposed to be trying this with
Yeah.
you or just watching what you're doing?
That's a great question and why you should ask lots of questions. Try this with me. Try putting some swatches on, and some of you might not like swatches at all, and try making some shapes. Was that you, Jane?
That's me.
Hi. Yeah, go for it, Jane. And then, some of you might even be drawing all kinds of stuff, like painting faces or who knows what. But definitely try something, maybe some shapes. Please. Oh, you can see mine is not particularly yellow. Try a yellow one. And I'll see if I can make the other one more visible to you. Although again, if our faces are in the way, you can move them around on your screen and ask us if you don't know how to move the faces out of the way of anything you want to see on your screen.
brush are you using? I'm just curious.
Yeah, that's another great question. It's a number 8. It happens to be one of these gray matters with a lid. I love
Oh,
the
yeah,
lid.
okay.
And I like using a really big brush, but this one is the one I happen to have. And it could be that they don't make the lidded ones too much larger than an 8, or at least when I was shopping. And that reminds me too, I happen to be demonstrating in a big book, but the little tiny books are great to use. I love little tiny books, even ones that aren't meant for watercolor, or the 5x8, which I think are a good in-between size if you're not comfortable with super tiny, but you also want something portable. I chose my big book because I felt like I could demonstrate a lot in it all on one page. And that reminds me, this is a little chattery, but Jane, I'm thinking of you and how you came to a first watercolor class with a gigantic sketchbook, but it was fantastic and you filled up the whole thing.
It was very embarrassing.
It was great though. You were a big inspiration. Maybe you'll show us when we have a little show and tell of our work that we've made that we feel good about. I want to get more down so I can, meaning more water down and color on my page so that I can start to do what I think is a little bit more exciting. So I think this is the most important thing. I guess I'm just making this one a little bit more brown. Eggs, all the eggs I found online that were photographed, the ones that had the pointy side down, the light was also on the lower side. So I'm having a hard time putting my light low. I'm thinking of lighting it, but maybe I'll be more accurate. No, I'll do another one. This brown egg of mine had been a different egg, but the brown egg has its light source is coming from the lower left. So we could be true to that. And if it dry, so I usually paint very dry for those of you who are new to the class. And it's not traditionally, I don't use a traditional watercolor technique. I use a really dry technique and I layer and I'm impatient. Maybe that's a different matter. So the yellow egg, the light is coming a little bit more from the top, slightly left. Whereas the brown egg, it's coming from the left, but a little bit lower. Yeah. This is spectacularly dull. All right, I'd like to stop sharing and see if anybody, I don't want to put any pressure on you, but who has a little something you'd like to hold up and just show us what came out of your head? I'm going to start and go around. So Susan, I'm going to start with you. Fantastic eggs.
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Nice. Beautiful.
All right, and I'm going to go counterclockwise for me anyway. Easy. Here you are with your egg. Excellent.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
Oh, wow.
I like it.
I like it too.
I don't want to touch it again.
You don't have to, especially.
Don't touch it.
Usually we layer in a lot and I work things a lot, but for these eggs, there's hardly anything there. So, Edie, did you get something down on the page?
Me, yes. I saw blue on the outer edge. I really like it.
Izzy did too. And oh,
That's lovely.
Oh, that's beautiful.
great. Gail, did you get something on the page?
Yeah.
Oh, you're back at your desk.
Wow.
Right, yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Gail, I missed you. That's good.
I miss you guys. It's great to be back.
Yeah. Marianne, how about you? Hey,
Look at all those colors.
So beautiful. I like that.
The added color.
Yeah, purple and pink and yellow.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
yeah, the background really helps. That's one thing I don't care for in these photographs. It's a white background. not helpful. Chris, did you get anything on your page?
I
Okay.
have not. I was just experimenting. I have a new palette.
Oh, can we see your new palette?
Well, it's undone. It's got a lot of colors, but it doesn't tell me what ones they are. So
Oh.
Oh, wow.
it's a travel palette. But anyway, I'm going to try that. But it's
That's exciting.
experiment with my colors, which aren't labeled at all.
Well, that'll keep you busy. You could spend all day. You could just make little swatches of each of those colors.
Well, I've already started that. I was hoping we could have the egg picture back.
Yes. Okay. Very quickly, I want to zoom around though a little bit more and just, Sue, did you happen to get anything down?
I did.
You
Ooh,
did.
I love
Yay.
green in
Oh,
that.
look.
That's wonderful.
Pretty.
Yeah. Great. And I'm trying to be deliberate here. Around and to the middle. Sam, how about you?
I got a little something down, but
Yes, you did.
Oh, you did.
Wow.
Wow.
That's it. Like light side, and shadowy at the edge. Jane, how about you? With your left. Okay, and now sort of a mini introduction here. Can you tell us about your arm, Jane?
Well, I fell and broke it a week.
Oh no.
My dominant hand, so I'm working with my left hand.
Oh,
And
that's good.
Wow.
so,
Supposed to be good for creativity.
yes, it is.
that's great.
Hasn't helped me make an egg shape, but
Talk
so
about painting loosely.
want me to show you my pitiful little eggs.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We would love that.
It's not pitiful.
Well,
Oh, they look beautiful.
Oh my
Pitiful
goodness.
at all.
Wonderful.
Wrong hand, amazing.
Ah,
You're going to have us all painting with our left hand, Jane.
Yes.
You are.
Barbara, how about you?
well, first I just had fun.
Oh,
And
wow.
I did that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I look like an avocado. So then I have trouble with shape.
Oh, no, you don't.
Those look like potatoes to me.
No.
But I had fun with the paint box. So
They're beautiful.
And Jerry, how about you?
I did a little one.
Oh,
Wow.
so sweet.
great.
And okay, I'm going to screen share again. Here we go, back to the eggs. And so they happen to be eggs, but it's not because I need us to paint eggs. It's more that I just wanted something to show a light and a dark
Oh, that's great.
that's got a sort of solid color all around. And that it looks a little bit like a head because it's smaller at the bottom and bigger at the top.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave those up, and I'm going to look for the other pictures that I want to share with you. Now it gets, or you could keep. How about you make some more eggs, but in different colors, and maybe mess around with a few more flesh colors. So maybe you want to try. I'm just at random picking burnt sienna. Back to the burnt sienna, and a little ultramarine blue, to see if we can have a deeper egg. And if you've already done that, you could try something else altogether. And you can stick with the light that's there in front of us. I'll put this up a little bit. Or change the lighting. So what I see on the browner egg to the left is, again, the lights. There's kind of a highlight here. I'll draw the whole egg so you can see it. So you could stick to that, or you could change the light source. So maybe I want to add a little bit more burnt sienna and a little bit more white. And I'm blotting my brush a lot. Keeping the light on the left. That's darker than I meant to go. darker than I meant to go also. Oh, and so I don't usually blend like this, but if I wanted it to be smoother, I could take my wet brush, wipe it out, and sort of wipe that out, and it's gone. You could erase, and then I could soften that back up. It doesn't tend to be how I usually work, but I guess it's good for making these soft egg shapes.
I think as I was practicing, that was the most frustrating because I tend to like the dry brush too. And eggs have such soft edges and and blends. And I had a lot of trouble trying to make it work. So I've got all kinds of blobs and everything in my little notebook to show you later.
Excellent. Well, I feel like my I'm only interested in the vague roundness of the egg and or oval shape, and not so much in that perfectly smooth transition. It's not the soft transitions I'm interested in. It's the noticing a light side and the shadow side. I think the faces for me will be a lot easier than eggs. Oopsie, I'm gonna keep that.
There was an artist at the art club. Her name was Jean Sturm. And she's no longer with us, but
Very famous.
she did the most amazing eggs I've ever seen. She had a lot of paintings of eggs, and they were beautiful. Some were on blue dishes, and some were just on a cloth, and you could see the velvet under the eggs. I mean, she was amazing.
Wow. I wish she could teach us her techniques.
Well, she was
I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna just scooch this way down out of the way.
Good.
Yeah, sorry. Jean, what's her last name?
Sturm, Sturim.
She was very famous for the art club.
Yeah, at the art club. That's where I remember seeing her work. But wow.
I wonder if I got a different Jean.
She's a great friend of Charlene Bowen's.
Right. I just remember her eggs, that's all.
I haven't found her eggs. Oh well.
Oh well.
Another time.
I'll look for them.
Yes, and I bet.
I'm sure other famous people have done it.
That's what I think. You could sort of type in anybody and eggs and see there's Julian Marrow Smith's eggs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Look at that.
Oh my, it looks real.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
boy. So there is some eggs.
Wow.
Our eggs are just exercises to notice and turning the form and to get us thinking about the next couple of things, which are, let's see, I don't want to obscure the eggs yet. Who's working on which egg?
I'm working on the brown.
The brown one. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I believe there's a brown one. And is anyone working on the yellow one?
I'm working on the yellow one.
Okay. I might shrink it. Actually, I'll leave it right there for now. And I'll talk. That's what I'll do. I'm interested in talking about the spheres, which I sent just this morning, right before class, talking a little bit about spheres and shadows and how light falls across a form. And also, we'll look at some proportions, which I hate to do in watercolor class at first, but it'll help since we're going to think about forms. We'll look a little bit at proportions, and then we'll apply them to some simple sculptural forms. That's what I hope to do. So there's going to be a little bit of drawing. Oh, I know. And if you're kicking around and you're not sure what to do because you're tired of your eggs, try maybe a red egg. Or as you saw, well, let's see. I'm going to do a red, sort of red, trying red, a little bit lighter. So here we're turning the form, using some different value gradations. I'm just gonna wipe some of that out. And, oh, are you thick enough to layer? I think I can't abide too much smoothness because I just have to go in there with a little bit more, more strokes. Oops, now I've gone dark in my light green box. Oh, and I guess this is really wet, but where some of you began to think about the background, and which we can't, it's white there, but the egg on the right has that little bit of tiny bit of cast shadow that gets blue. You could play around with that and make the whole thing darker behind it. Now my maybe my red one is dry enough for me to layer into it. A little purple, a little blue. Orange. Oopsie. Got lazy and I wanted to use the white kind of cleanly, but it had green in it and I didn't clean it out. I thought, what if I take some orange and some white, put that in my yellow, my red.
Eggs are really hard.
Very difficult, I think.
Is that because you're doing them perfectly?
No, me? No, not me.
All right, I'd like us to switch a little bit to faces, but because I can't see your faces, I'm gonna stop the share just so, oh good, there you all are. And I left Cherry spotlighted, which I sometimes do. Sometimes when I take the break, I leave one person, lucky or unlucky, depending on how you see it, spotlighted for the whole break. I'd like to switch over to talking a little bit about actual faces. But I want to give you can everybody hold up a little bit of egg?
Yep. I'm loving
Look at that, eggs of all colors, excellent. So you all get gold and tiny eggs. Excellent, Jane, great job. So for me, as you know, like you get the gold stars just for getting something on the page and waking up this first morning of class, waking up your paint boxes. I'd like to talk about, let's see, week 1 portrait. I hate that I'm sharing drawing stuff in our class. I want to keep it loose, but it's going to help a little bit. When I practice with my dad, we practice for drawing class. He said, just I could do this number 5 face over and over again. there are a lot of ways to talk about proportions in portraits, and I am probably going to confuse the heck out of you because I talk about it in many ways. So the disclaimer is to use this in as much as it is helpful to you. And it may not be, but let's see, so I have this. And and we can see, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna use your, oh no, Deb's not here. We're gonna use Deb's little scary doll again, which
Oh.
a couple of you saw. And so we've got good times waiting for us. Actually, well, first let's draw a tiny bit. So if you have a pencil that's kind of hardish, like for some reason they're none of the right, I have a white one here, but if you have the gray Palomino or just not your super dark pencil, and I've got, oh, look, sharpener will be handy. It's my next ball. I want to think a little bit about these heads, and probably kind of like the egg, I'm going to take a much looser approach than it's here. So might even make a few, if you don't mind. I don't know if this is switching up on you too much, but if you feel like your watercolor sketchbook is really nice and you don't want to kind of mess it up with playing around, you could just pick up your not as nice sketchbook to do a bunch of circles. I don't know if you happen to have, some of you all with the kits have these other sketchbooks. You could just make a lot, and I say circles, but I'm thinking more of egg shape. Just lots of circles. Bunch of circles. Just to kind of warm up. If you did, you get a gold star for each page, another page of circles. I'm trying to let them stack up on each other too. For some reason that makes me a little looser, just making sort of these shapes. Almost got 3 pages of these shapes now for me. Made me nervous to do it in the nice watercolor book. Actually, it doesn't really make me nervous, but I was afraid it might make you nervous, and I wanted you to really feel loose, like you could make a lot of shapes. But do it here. What have I done here? Okay. Now, if we could take one of these shapes, and maybe we do want one of these shapes in your watercolor book. And sorry, I'm like thinking, Margaret, you're total nut. Because really what I don't want us to get too hung up. Often the easiest way to go, so actually at the bottom on one of my shapes, notice how I put that little dark mark, and I've got a little dark mark at the top. So that's important. I'm gonna give my little shape a neck, and I'm gonna draw around this. So you see, this is kind of the box that my egg shape is sitting in. And I'm gonna give it a middle center line. So that's kind of, and notice how my center line is not particularly centered. Oh well, I will try to make it a little bit more central so it's not super confusing. If you like, almost, and you could just pull out a straight edge for center too. Although even with a straight edge, mine is not centered. Okay, that's.
Just drawing heads now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and what first we drew like 3 pages of just these eggy shapes to kind of loosen up, and I used this sketchbook that's not the nice watercolor sketchbook because I wanted to feel a little less attached to the outcome. And you can always go back and make these into little shaded eggs. Okay, and normally I'm not picky about the center line, but I feel like since I'm demonstrating, the center line should in fact be in the center. and there's the bottom of the chin, top of the head. And for a neck, for this generic neck, I just know that I don't want it to be all the way out to the side, and I don't want it to be too close to the center line. And while George Bridgman didn't do this, I like to mark the clavicular notch, perhaps because I just like saying it. I'm going to stop share and, ooh, sunlight. Notice how, like, this is the clavicular notch where the clavicles come together. And if I like, it's usually like less than half, maybe a third. We don't have to be precise, but I feel like once I know where that is, and once I know where my neck meets my shoulder roughly, oh, I'll spotlight myself instead of Cherry. And that might, wow, I love the sun. Sometimes it's not here, but it's probably not gonna help you see me. There we go, okay, sort of. So this clavicular notch is like, I'm measuring from my chin to that, and I'm gonna put my chin down. I can't do it that way looking at myself, but is less than half of my head by a lot, maybe a third. And the other thing that I look for, and I know we're looking at an imaginary George Bridgman figure, but it's where my neck and my trapezius muscle and my shoulders, like if I go like this, that neck to shoulders, it's up by my nose. If I go like this, it's way down below my head. I wanted to show you that because even though George doesn't have it so much in his drawing, he has a little bit. And you can see that, oopsie. Just being aware of wherever it is, even if you're on an imaginary person. So on the left, it's high, it's right level with the chin. On the right, it's lower. So back to my little thinking here. I'll make my little thinking a little bigger. So I've got a neck, and maybe I'll think, okay, clavicular notch, we'll put it about a third here. And then we'll go with Bridgman's guy that his shoulder, one shoulder is way up there, but the other is down here because maybe he's leaning on something. So having the neck and the shoulders helps me to feel like the head's gonna be, there's gonna be more information. I don't get too particular, but the head is wider, higher up. Does that's, anyway, okay. And then usually, so Bridgman's eyes in this case are a little higher than halfway. And I'll measure it for you by saying, so if between the eyes and the chin, he's got them a little higher than halfway, but often you'll find that the eyes, if you're looking straight on, are halfway. So you could, I usually think just find a halfway mark between the chin and top of the head, and that can give you a good idea of where the eyes are. A little higher than halfway will make it look more like an adult. And then, so if I'm just drawing this, I tend to put in that eye line. I tend to put a little line above it for what will be the eyebrows. And then Bridgman's got the nose halfway. Good catch for whomever muted themselves just as they were ringing. Halfway between the chin and the eye line, really roughly, that could be a good place to put a little line for the nose. And then the line where the hair, forehead meets hair, is just under the hair, and know that if there's a hairdo, it's going to come up over the hair. One thing, it sort of kills me to get so specific, but here, again, if you happen to be looking right on at the head, these 5 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they represent the width of the eye and how sometimes if you include the ears, you can fit 5 eyes in across the head. And it might drive you nuts to think about that too precisely, but I feel like I can think about it kind of roughly and just think, okay, well, if I had to fit 5 in here, what would it look like? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Somehow that helps me to decide roughly where the eyes might go. And that's with the ears. And then Bridgman makes a nice little point here that mark up and a little bit of green, that'll be nice. That often you might see the ears, the bottom of the ears level with the bottom of the nose. So that would give us an idea about where to place the ears. Has anybody run screaming from the room yet?
No.
I went to get coffee.
Okay. That was you, Izzy. And Izzy, you've done this because Izzy and Barbara are in Monday class too. And in Monday class, we're actually studying the face too. So
I'm not in class.
Oh, I'm sorry, Izzy.
Thinking I am, but I'm not. I'm in I'm in Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay. Yes, sorry for mixing you up.
Okay.
I'm on Monday and Thursday, but I didn't come on Monday because
Aha. Yes, Izzy, I see you holding up. Will you just show us how it happened? Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at your Bridgman.
Good, actually. This was my first one, and this one was my first one. It's the second, and this is the third one I wasn't thinking. And I have 3 more to do.
All right. Give the other 3 some proportions. Could I see other people's just to like know that you're trying even if it's painful? Okay, Susan. Oh, look at that. Yes. Excellent.
That looks like, Susan, put that up again. Doesn't that look like, I don't know, not a ghost? Ghost person.
Johnny.
Oh, the chin.
Who does it look?
Marianne. Oh, Marianne, look at that.
Oh, Marianne.
Could I disclose?
Marianne.
That's really good.
Marianne, will you tell us a little bit about your history with art? I mean, your experience with art?
I'm a RISD grad, and I've been a graphic designer for 30-something years.
How is this helpful? Since you've got so much experience and I have you looking at these George Bridgman diagrams, is it helpful?
Yes, it is, because you know, I do computer-based publications mostly, and I haven't really done any drawing since freshman year. So while it's in there, it's still rusty, and it's a really good refresher. And you know, about this class and anybody that's, you know, I really want the challenge of trying to work faster and looser, which is the opposite of the way I normally work. So this class is a real challenge for that.
Great, thank you, Marianne. I'm gonna zoom around, and now I'd like to see more of these heads. Jane, will you share your left-handed Bridgman heads? Bridgman inspired. Oh, look, there they are.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Nice.
Great. And now I'm mixed up because I moved so Susan, we looked at yours first, right?
I think yes.
Oh, yes, now I remember.
Yeah.
Sam, how about you? How's it going?
Sorry, I'm just following you along, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
haven't gone ahead of you.
Great. There's a face. I think that faces are some of the most terrifying thing a person can draw.
I never do people.
Yeah, and there's a Sue. How about you? How's it going with the face?
I don't know whether you can.
I can't. Well, no, actually, now I can't. Could you move it closer to your neck? because I can see your necklace very well. Oh, yes, yes.
I don't know,
Excellent.
the light is pouring in a funny way, so.
Oh, Sue,
That's
that's
adorable.
Yeah, but we saw it. Excellent. Okay.
that could be one of our grandchildren.
Gail, how about you?
Hi. I have the drawing page side of my thing. So I'm following along with you. I just am doing multiple heads on top of my multiple ovals. You know?
Look at that gesture top one. That's
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I'm gonna motor through. Chris, did you draw any heads?
Just one little one.
Excellent. Excellent.
good.
I've never done this before, so
Neither.
I don't know.
I don't do people.
Gold stars, because faces I think are terrifying.
I really think they're
How
hard.
about you? Dee Dee?
I was having fun with the hair.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Made a face.
Good. And the nose is good.
Yeah.
And Cherry? Oh, there it is.
There you go. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
I like, and it's got a lot of character, that one. Character. Barbara, how about you? Did we look at yours yet?
I'm still with the lines. You know, I'm just doing lots of
That's good.
heads with lines and trying to get the proportions and the different way people's heads go. It's like doing a picture of all of you on Zoom.
Oh,
That is fun. Did I get to everybody? We started with you, Izzy?
Yep.
Okay, all right, back to the screen. We go back, and back to our little, and what have I done here? So I've found some eyebrows, and you maybe notice that the ears, they're a little wider, they poke out wider than the jaw. So much of
Ears are important, actually.
yes.
Turns out. Sort of.
Eyebrows are important too.
I like to hide my ears, but maybe when I'm painting, I don't.
And so eyebrows, I'm gonna, gosh, I want to talk. I'm torn between like how much how much detail do we go into?
I like your talking. I'm learning from everything you're saying. So keep
Yes.
All right, thank you. Not cute. I will then, what I'm gonna do is I am gonna kind of dive deep into talking about eyebrows. Because, okay, and he's really, I'm gonna show you my own, well, the beautiful light is right on me. I'm gonna show you my own head again. I'm gonna spotlight me. In case you didn't know about eyebrows, I want you, gosh, I really like the Zoom makeover.
I know.
Like somebody made me up. It's remarkable, really, anyway, okay. So, I wanted you to notice how if you kind of drew an imaginary horizontal line, that my eyebrow, well, a couple things. First of all, the hair of my eyebrow is right in here, but it's very light. So we don't happen to see my eyebrow till there, where the hair gets thicker. And so for drawing purposes, to get a likeness of me, you probably wouldn't want to really start the drawing of the eyebrow until you were more level with my tear duct, if that makes sense. And I just wanted you to notice that, because if you put it right at the middle, it would look different. And if you put it way far over, like say right over my pupil, it would look different. So with me, you can line it up there, or maybe you'd start a little bit here, this sort of angle, and then notice the end of my eyebrow is way over there on the outside of my eye, and really close to my hairline. So it's almost closer to my hairline than it is to my eye.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that.
And it'll be different for everybody, and it'll be different if I move my head around. But and sometimes you might think about this kind of angle from corner of eye, that there's an angle there. So it's definitely not right over, it's way out there. And another thing you could think is sort of, what's the shape of it? Does it go up? Is it across? Is it down? All three of those things. So and the reason I talk about that is because that shape around the eye is important when we're thinking about how to shade it. So come back to this and thinking about, and I know these imaginary eyes, I kind of can't help but put a little bit of a iris pupil right in the middle of the line. And that makes me wonder if I should just talk a tiny bit about if we've got an eye line, eye level, and then we have, what do I mean? I mean that a pupil, we don't want the pupil really, or the iris too round, or it will look shocked. If we have an eye like that, the iris in the middle will look shocked. But I kind of took the top off of the pupil shape so that it doesn't look so shocked. So horribly specific for now, but let's see. Oh, I know what's really important is some kind of line to mark where the two lips meet. And I think what Bridgman does is that, I know this is super tiny, seems to me like he puts the line under the lip. Let's use this one instead. So this line just under the lower lip, that looks to be about halfway between his chin and his nose. So we could use that and say, okay, halfway between nose and chin is a line under the lip. And then a little tiny bit above there, we have the line where the lips meet. And I feel like just getting that makes it look so human and pretty fast too. So that I think is more important practically than and so does Bridgman, more important than the iris. So this guy has a long nose, doesn't he? Now back to the eyebrow. It's gonna come a little bit lower. Then farther over to outside the eye. And then I'll give my guy a brow line. This thing here that Bridgman does, where you see I said brow, I meant like hairline. I mixed this up with the eyebrow so that the line of the hair, notice this bend here that comes out around the cheekbone. That's surprisingly helpful when you're trying to describe hair around a space, especially with a guy, that it gets really close to the eyebrow and then goes out around the chin, the cheekbone. That can be a helpful thing to notice, this sort of bend here. Oopsie, got it too high over there. And now I'll get rid of it. I wish I could make it skinnier. You go skinnier? Yes, you will. Thank you. Okay, so I think my guy needs a little more hair. And here, I think I went wide, and I can tell that because I want his hair to be, I guess Bridgman has it in really close to the skull, but usually it's not so close to the skull. And it makes, I'm wanting my hair to go out from the ears farther, but if I do that, it's gonna be a wider face. So I wanna keep my ears in there, inside the pink box. And I feel like he needs more skull to look. And now, so now my guy is looking younger and younger because, and
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah,
here's
he
why.
does.
So here's why. So I'll take a couple of these.
It's an expression.
And also his eyes are kind of low. So his eyes are now lower than halfway in his head, not by much, but I think the eyes are sort of wide and they're low in the head. So if we put, say I make this circle like that and this circle like this, oh, you can't see it, sorry. This one looks lower. This one looks younger because the eyes are lower, and this one looks older because the eyes are higher. And Or let's see, we just have all things, you have a plain circle. Now we can still see those eyes. We have a plain circle here, maybe even really closer to a circle. And I put little eyes, or I put big eyes. Okay, that just looks crazy. I guess I feel like the big eyes are gonna look younger. Maybe that's not such a great argument for it, but lower in the head and bigger will make your picture look younger, and higher up, little eyes will make the picture look older. There's my little caricature. So if I want to do a caricature of an older person, just more of a grown-up person, I might do that. And they look a lot older because their eyes are high up in the head. And also we could do some really big ears. Big ears make an older look. Okay, back to our little guy who does really look little. I think it would be if you would like to take some of your other circle shapes and find, oops, sorry, there's a limited range of my camera here. And a limited, oh, I know, I can do this. Whee. Oh. All the way around. Oh. I know you're looking at my ceiling now, but not for long. Oh goodness, maybe not. We'll see. All right, stay there. Stay there. Thinking. I need my own tech guy. Oh, no, I got it. Maybe. You could add some features to the other faces by giving them a neck and a sort of clavicular notch. Oops, that's a really narrow. And midline for eyes. Eyebrow line, some hair. A nose. Maybe you want to try a nose that is higher than halfway up. So what do I mean by that? Midline for the face, bottom of chin, top of head. And I'm going to draw a line right through the middle of my little egg shape here. And then maybe instead of putting the nose, as Bridgman put it, halfway between the chin and the eye line, we want to go a little higher than halfway. Put the nose there. See how that does. Keep my eyes kind of, try to keep them close together. Oh, and you might have noticed, gosh, Bridgman has the eyes, the eye level with the ears, but I'd like us to check that. I'm going to use me again because I'm handy. So I want to make me eye level with you. And so my ears, the bottom of my ears are level with my nose, and of course it changes, but the top of my ears.
Well, the top of there.
Eyebrow.
Yeah, so not down there, but way up there. And if you've been, oh, and we can also, you could try measuring even on your screen from my chin to right where my tear duct is, and then from there to the top of my head. I'll hold this up here so you can see it clearly. And see how high up my eyes are from your point of view. Okay, I'm gonna go back to, I wanted to show you that just so we could see that. So Bridgman, that guy's ears are level with his eyes, but usually they're, my kind of generic idea of where ears fit is that they are, the bottom is, usually I think of the bottom being a little lower than the nose and the top being closer to the eyebrow. Got an eyebrow up there, but the ears are somewhere like that. Here, this one. Look at brows. You've got, our noses here. Then maybe we'll try this halfway between chin and nose. There's a little line there for under the lip, a little line above it for where the lips meet, and we could make that into your mouth, and then you just that and that and that, and where do we have clavicle under this and that, and maybe trapezius and shoulders. All right, that is surely enough drawing for anybody. Being silly. I want to see your faces again so I can think straight. It's 10:12. Oh, look. Great. Look at those faces. Excellent. And now I can't even remember. Oh, there you are. Let's see. Sam. Excellent faces, Sam. Excellent faces, Izzy. You very Giacometti.
Yeah.
They're all different.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Susan, I see yours.
Whoa. Oh, a
shape.
young boy.
Yeah.
Sherry, I see yours.
Nice.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah, you got him.
Hope so.
Edie?
Oh,
There.
a boy and a girl.
All right. And Barbara?
Nice.
That's all of us.
Family.
Well, I tried to begin to see the difference between the male and the female,
Uh-huh.
and fat people and thin people.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, and I see Sue, I'm coming over to you. Great. Excellent. And Marianne, I'm coming over to you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and you've got a
Beautiful.
Oh, those are lovely.
Those are
Yeah.
very
I
Those are
did
really good.
child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Wonderful.
Really nice.
kind of
And,
sunlight is, yeah.
That's wonderful.
I like that.
yeah.
I like that.
Gail?
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. You're there. I was just saying your name because I switched spots.
I'm doing all that proportion stuff. And as you can see, I'm making lots of notes. So I'm trying to figure
Yeah.
Great.
Nice.
Those are good.
Chris, I saw that you made some. Oh, yeah.
Good.
Okay, that's a
Oh,
man.
yes.
Then I did this isn't quite done yet. I didn't race it, but that's the woman.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh,
you've
beautiful.
got the difference.
Beautiful, Chris.
Kind of
Yeah.
fun to see that.
Love the eyebrows.
Well, that looks more feminine, but my man was
Yeah.
looking more feminine before. until I-
Jane, how about you?
I did a baby, or started a
Oh, a baby. Oh, that's sweet. Gerber.
Yeah. And now I'm mixed up. Who didn't we see? Dee Dee, did we see yours?
Yes.
Okay. And we saw yours, Sam, and yours, Sue?
Yeah.
And Cherry, did we see yours?
Yes, you
Okay.
did.
Oh, all right. I'd like us to look over, and Dee Dee, I'm really enjoying that painting behind your head.
Which happens to be a watercolor.
Oh my gosh, not the kind of watercolor I teach, just.
It's an artist in California, and it is a watercolor.
Oh,
that's
Good.
amazing.
wow, it's beautiful.
A memory of when we could travel.
Right. Right. We will again. We will again.
We will again, indeed. I would like us to take some of these proportion ideas and apply them to our goddess here.
Ooh.
And one, it's drawing from sculpture can be very nice because they, the sculptor has simplified all these shapes. And actually, now that I say that, no, let's stick with the plan. Another time we can come back and add shading to the sketches you've made. But for now, let's go to our goddess and
I have to tell you, I traveled this week and it was not pleasant.
Oh, what
No,
happened?
you
Tell us,
did.
Susan.
I'm in Ohio visiting my sister and my mom, and I got to the airport. We had a delay. I was supposed to have close connections. You know, I had on my face mask and my shield, and I had a 6.5 hour delay in Baltimore, and all I could think of was, this is exactly what I was hoping to avoid.
Oh,
And it was great. I mean, people were very respectful getting on, and then they took off their masks when they served snacks.
Oh, no.
Really?
Oh,
Stupid.
And then when the flight ended, it was like nothing had ever changed.
Wow.
Jumped up to, get off, and I was not happy.
Oh.
wow.
So it was, it's not without stress, that's for sure.
Ugh.
That's too bad.
But what are you gonna do? My mother's 93. I think I needed to come.
You did.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Yes.
Oh, yes.
So anyway,
Is anybody else really missing a relative that they're thinking about traveling?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sue and I want to go to California, but we can't.
Oh.
me too. But what can you do? It's not gonna happen for a while.
My friend just picked up her mother who was 104.
Wow.
Had her stay at her house for 2 days. And she was great. And it was wonderful. But she hadn't seen her for months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom is 81 alone in South Carolina, and we Zoom or FaceTime her every single night when my husband and I start cooking. And she said it's better than watching any cooking show on TV.
What a great idea.
She loves it. She just sits there and watches us cook like she's in the room with us. So
Wonderful.
do what you can,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone's been very resourceful.
Trying to find the midline on this lady, but it doesn't look in the middle. I'm gonna put it in the middle just for, or I'm gonna try to.
It's not in the middle.
No.
I did that before.
And of course, a circumstance where the line is in the middle is going to be not frequent because it's a singular moment in time. I also was sort of scooching these sidelines into where is her head versus where is her hair. I don't want to be too confusing about that, but I'm often thinking, well, where's the side of the skull? And that's different than where's the outside of the hair. I'll leave it right here. I'll leave it with the hair though for now. And I took this line all the way down because I was sort of thinking about, well, where do her clavicles meet? And I'd like to do another line. Thinking about kind of where it goes from what I call neck to trapezius to that muscle behind the neck. And then I think if we could keep going, it probably would do something more like this to go to the shoulder. Thinking about that, and then probably, well, anyway, so what do we have here? I usually start with just a rough shape myself, and I'll draw a little heavier so you can see what I'm doing. Rough down shape, and middle line, wee, and chin. Oh, and I think we're looking up at her a little because we kind of see under her chin. Certainly there's a shadow under her chin.
Right.
And I'm going to mark the top and the bottom. And then we can say, well, where's halfway? That can be kind of an easy way of it. Where's the halfway mark? And since I can draw right on my screen like this, I will. And this is, if I were, oops, I'm also going to do it right here. What I used to do, what I'm going to do now is on my own drawing, I want to know where the halfway mark is between the chin and the head, top of the head. So here, I just do this till it looks about right, and then I'll mark it, and I'll know that's the halfway mark. Now, where's the halfway mark on her? Oh, I guess, actually, scratch that. The computer will do it with me. If I draw a line, I'm gonna, bear with me. I draw a line, and then I move the line, and I scooch it up here. Then it'll just tell me, the little dot tells me where. And I guess it's really near her tear duct. That often I use the tear duct as a reference, or where I think it is, because the eye is such a big space. There's so much of it that tear duct is more specific to me. Okay, well, that's helpful. So then in my own drawing, I know, okay, her eyes are here along this line. And then let's see. So here we can see, we don't want to use that kind of, oh wait, where is her nose? I'm going to draw a line sort of around her nose. Her ears are lower than her nose, unlike Bridgman. And it also looks like her lips are higher up than the Bridgman proportions. So we won't divide, let's see, nose. Nose does look just a little higher than halfway between chin and eyes, but then the lips look a lot closer to the chin. Do that. I think it's still gonna, oh, and when I'm drawing a face, I am not usually, my goal is to make it look like a face. Likeness for me is a whole nother ball of wax that I don't usually achieve. So when we say, oh, it looks like a person or it doesn't, if you're looking at your own drawing, I'm not that concerned with likeness. I'm beyond it looking like human. You could say my standards are too low, but that's maybe. All right, so I've got a line for her nose, and a line for her mouth, a line under the chin, and her ears are sort of around, a little lower than her nose. Maybe I should, the shape of the hair can go a long way toward likeness, and I'm noticing, let's see, I'll do a brow, that the pointy bit, like the sort of the highest part of her brow, seems almost halfway between, the place where her hair meets her forehead seems kind of like halfway between her brow and the top of her head. I don't know if that's a useful measurement to you. Let's see. Okay. So what else can I do to make it look like her with the best? High shade. Sometimes, like in this case, I feel like the nose, the underside of the nose is shadowy, so I'm making that little box. The rest of her head, Margaret. Oh, no, you can make her look young. I keep wanting to add to her hair. Ears, we can't see the tops of her ears. But we can see the bottom. I've drawn a lot of lines, which I would tell you not to do, not to draw so many lines. Chin or neck, that will help me. Nice sturdy Greek neck, not too narrow. And what else do I want? The shape of the hair. Even her, we saw it in Bridgman's Guy. I don't want pink. Let's take it. Even her, the shape of the brow sort of coming around and doing this. That, and it is a little different here, but that sort of here, down, and did I get right? And over and down. That's a shape sometimes the side of the hair makes. And now I'm confused, but it kind of mimics the brow, that angle that way, and then up and over. Let's see, where do you see it on Bridgman again? Yeah, you can see it really clearly there. Hers is not so far off. That's similar kind of shape. I'll make him small and leave him. Oopsie, no, don't do that. I never quite understand. Yes. No, that. I'll bring her back in a moment, I promise. Ugh. No, I can't. Okay, I'll leave him down here. Put her in the foreground. And I'll move some of these lines, which are probably starting to get pretty distracting. But I will draw another line where, so where's the middle? Where do her two lips meet? Much closer to the nose than Bridgman's. Bigger for us, so we can look at you while we look at her. Okay. And I want to get out my paint box, because the real reason that I'm bothering with all these pesky measurements is to have some shapes to put shadow in. And so, scooch. So I would encourage you to go back to your paints now, and now that we've got an armature, no matter what this armature looks like, even if it were very long or very squat, anything at all, I guess I just reached into my blue, which had a little brown in it, and I'll blot it. Oh, and I can do some swatches. I'm not quite ready to dive in. Maybe because she's made of marble, I think I'll use a little white to kind of add a little opacity and take the chroma down for my blue brown mixture. That's probably pretty dark. Oh well, doesn't matter. And then I could just say, okay, well, she's dark under the nose, under the eye. This actually is pretty well lit, but really, usually the whole, if we just darken, now I want to bring out the skull, but I won't yet. If we, actually, I will. Skull isn't so helpful. We'll do picture of skull. I'm going to show you another something. I'm going to show you our skull. So see how the eye sockets are in shadow, and of course, because there's nothing back there, but still they're in shadow. The light catches, and if we flipped it, I want to see if I can mimic her a little bit by having the light on the left. So the light's on the left, just like the light's on the left for her. It does catch the light there in a way, but the eye sockets tend to be in shadow. And I want us to think, that's what I'm thinking about when I start to put shadows on mine.
Would you mind
Yeah.
putting up another photo of her without your lines on?
Yes, I would be happy to.
Thanks.
You got it. There she is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking. And I don't tend to put the cast shadow that's right under the nose that's sort of raking across. I don't tend to put that in because I had a professor once who said, oh no, don't put that in, it wrecks the form. And unless you're really trying to describe raking light, I do find it's easier not to put that cast shadow in if it's just kind of breaking up the form. So there's shadow under the chin, and there'll even there's a little shadow on that side. And without, I guess in a way, maybe I'm thinking of just, I'm trying to pull back from too many variations in light and dark, and maybe I'm just trying to think of one. If I had to just shade with one gray, where would I put it? I put it out here, on the right, under the lip. Maybe I do the whole neck. I can't see her anything else on the shoulder, so we'll have to guess at that. Work at the top. And here's where we, as a class, we haven't yet talked about. I'm going to see if I'm going to scooch her. I want you to see her, but I also want to share something else with you. So this might take me a minute. Sorry, I'm wiggling her around so much. And I'll make this smaller. I wanted you to see this while we're looking at her. And I know the light's going, it's backwards, but just to think of a light side and a shadow side. Let me see if there's, I think that's the main one. Just to maybe consider that I'm going to do this. And the reason I showed this is that we can sort of see how it's brighter there, but then it all gets dark around the edge. I think that might be it. Now, I am going to take a walk, but I want to leave you with things, and gosh, because it's already 10:30. I'm going to stop the share just for a minute, but I promise to put it back. I'm going to take my little walk, and then when I come back, I'm going to leave up the sculptures for you to draw from if you like. And do whatever you'd like with the break and anytime. And then we could have more introductions and talk a little bit more about what you're interested in the class and in getting from the class. So that's my plan, to leave you here with this sculpture and another. But also I'm keeping it all straight, like looking right at you for now.
Wow. Like the eggs, white and brown.
Yeah.
Margaret, I have to leave you,
Okay.
but I'll see you next for our next class.
See you next time, Susan. Thanks for coming.
Bye, Susan.
Hi, Susan.
I hope your trip coming home is a lot better than the one going.
It has only up to go.
All right. Good luck.
All righty, I'll see you soon. Bye.
And I will be back. Let's see, I'm gonna mute myself too if I can find myself. I'll be back in 15 minutes.
All right.
Bye.
Okay.
Fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, no. Oh, darn it.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, it's getting worse. It's getting worse.
I know, I put a shade on the nose and
Same.
I wish I hadn't drawn all those lines.
Yeah.
That's what I wish.
Uh, nobody ever said it was easy.
No, we're all in the service of learning, right?
That's right.
And this is so much fun. Oh my gosh.
I know, I missed it.
Me too.
Ah.
And it makes me paint. That's the other thing.
Yes, yes, yes.
I agree. I wouldn't make the time, or I haven't been able to make the time, the being accountable.
Yes.
Right.
I agree. COVID has like put time warps in my life. Time just goes by so quickly.
It doesn't it? And sometimes at the end of the day, I think, wait, what did I do today? I did nothing.
It's funny. It's so counterintuitive. You think the time would drag on.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like, I don't know where the week went.
Yep.
No.
It's helpful to have a class to.
Yeah.
This is really a very social experience for me since last March, when my son declared my husband and I off limits.
No.
Yeah.
This has been wonderful, or at least it's wonderful to see a face without a mask.
Isn't that nice to see the smiles? I
Yeah.
like that
Right.
too.
It is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My son and his wife and 6-year-old went to Hemingway's last night and ate outside.
Yeah.
And
How?
they said it was wonderful and they felt really safe. And my grandson was so excited to be at a restaurant.
Oh, how
He
old?
couldn't believe it. 6. He
Oh.
just was really excited. They said it was really wonderful. So I said, oh, maybe we could do that. And they went, no, we're going to bring takeout to your house and sit outside. We'll sit at one table. You'll sit at another.
Well, you know, they love you a lot.
I know.
They do. They do.
My
Yeah.
I have 4 grandchildren at URI.
Oh,
Oh, no.
We just got that terrible news about
yeah.
the increase in,
Yes.
but 2 of them were locked into houses that they were renting with a lease, and the other 2 into dorms. And
Oh,
so all the parents were willing to just say, forget the expense, stay home, and they're all on, virtual learning. Nobody has a real class.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's wrong with these kids over there that have just gone haywire, I guess.
That's the age, right? That's the age where everyone's invincible.
Yeah. That part of the brain has not been developed.
Right.
right.
There.
Could be a little bit of raging hormones too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that.
Do we remember that?
No.
My dreams. Oh dear. Well, mine does not look like Athena. It looks like Odysseus or somebody.
I'm afraid to pick the paintbrush up, and this is a watercolor class.
If it's not Medusa, I think you're doing well.
Yeah. Exactly.
I was so bummed to think about having to do this class with my left hand, but
You're doing fabulous.
well, I found the handicap has really, I've started practicing immediately, just even printing my name. And I can't believe how, in some ways, my work is better. In most ways, it's worse. But in some ways, it's a little, I'm not afraid to make a mistake, I guess. So I'm looser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably all try it.
Yeah.
Because it's
Might be good for us.
yeah, there's that book about creativity, The Artist's Way or whatever it is, and they said to start drawing with your left hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
go on to the left side of the ring. Yeah.
At least it's not your left foot.
Wait, wasn't there an artist that painted with their toes?
I think there was.
I think I get a mailing every year. But
I used to get that.
yeah, I haven't seen it in a while. Is anyone doing the brown one?
I just started it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
What's that? Which course?
No, the brown statue. Like
Oh,
the
no.
white egg and the brown egg.
Oh, right. Are we doing both? I guess we are.
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah,
I'm gonna start it anyway.
yeah. Very different.
Yeah. Lots of darks, dark.
Yeah. I know it sounds weird, but it's kind of fun not being, it's more in the grays and the browns and the, not reds and yellows and
Right.
primary color. It's kind of fun.
Or subtle.
Yeah. Well, you really see the light in the dark.
Yeah, you can focus on the values.
Yeah.
And the lights without being distracted by the color.
Right.
This is my first Zoom class, and I'm really enjoying, although I miss the camaraderie, especially at lunch in the club. I'm really enjoying not having to travel and still being able to attend class.
It is nice to, like 10 minutes before, go set everything up, go get coffee, go to the bathroom, and then say, oh, I'm driving to Providence now. And walk,
right.
1 minute to my studio. It's kind of nice.
We could
I think
our
it's
pajama
wet.
bottoms.
I think it's worked out better than I expected doing the classes by Zoom. I mean, what you sacrifice is not really being able to look over everybody's shoulder and see
Right.
what's
Right. And I always learned from what other people were doing.
But we
Absolutely.
show what we do.
That's true.
We do.
I like to see how people work though, myself.
Yeah, me too. I know what you mean.
Like what they
But-
paint first, what they go after
Yes,
first.
where do they start?
Start.
Yeah.
I'm
Well-
not one bit disappointed with it, though. I think it's been terrific that this has
It's
been designed for us.
a wonderful
They're gonna
alternative,
love it.
making the best of it,
Yes. And meeting new people. I don't know some of you.
I'm back. On that note, I'll say I'm back and I didn't realize when I was out, like, oh, introductions before the break would have been good. I love here. I'm gonna stop the share now because it was great to hear. I agree. Like, seeing people work, just like how do they put their paintbrush in the water, or did they pick up the pencil first? It's priceless. Gail is not back. Gail and the ladies of the rolling pin. Oh, there's Gail. Maybe I should wait a little bit till Sue comes along. But
Are we supposed to be watercoloring this sculpture?
it's if you like, but you were supposed to be walking your dog and having a cup of tea.
That's
Everyone
right.
else was.
I walked my dog and weeded, and then I came back.
Excellent.
But
I
I
wish
have,
I had done that, Izzy.
Oh no! Did it go badly, Barbara?
Oh, well, you know, Margaret, I'm coming. By the time I'm 90, I will be Grandma Moses, but
Oh,
I'm not there yet, and it's okay.
that reminds me, I'll stop sharing screen just to wait till Sue comes back. But I mean, I'll do this again.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. and I suppose there's no reason we can't talk and look at this, but I like seeing your faces big, and I can only see four of them at a time. Anyway, I'm gonna look up Hokusai because there's this great book I may have mentioned about the artist, the Japanese artist with the last name Hokusai, about really learning a lot into old age and how he, like, I think he felt like he just got going and then better, and like that his 80s were really productive. Anyway, I'm gonna look up the little story by Hokusai. There's a book for kids, actually. It's great. But I'm conscious of having sort of interrupted conversation. So Jane, you were saying you like having Zoom better than nothing?
Oh, I think I'm not at all disappointed. My first Zoom class, and I think it's wonderful.
Oh, good, good.
It's terrific.
One of the things that's nice about having this size class is that you don't have to read out all the time, so the conversation can be more free flowing.
Mm.
Yeah, who was it that said that?
Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
And I love having our guests. That's nice too.
I'm glad you
That's a
mentioned
treat to have our guests.
So nice that they opened the classes for newcomers like me. Really fun.
And speaking of guests, I don't have one scheduled for this class, but I do, let's see, on a Monday, October 12th, at, I would say 10, or I'll say 10:15 to be on the safe side. Helen Uger is going to do a drawing demo in my portrait class, in the sketch class, the other sketch class that doesn't have watercolor. And anybody who's available on Monday, 12:10.
And her name is Helen?
Her name is Helen Uger, and I want to show you a little bit of her work. So she's doing this for the drawing class, not for watercolor. Helen Uger, there we go. She and I went to grad school together. Sorry to interrupt your sculpture ladies.
You say that the October 12th?
October 12th, Monday.
Columbus Day.
Oh, we are having class. I didn't realize it was Columbus Day. Technically, I'm having class that day because the club, it's up to the teachers, and the club is technically open. So I am having class. I didn't realize I scheduled Helen on that day. She said you would come again, so I'm gonna ask if she really meant that, and if she'll come another day. So that's a picture of me as a 25 years ago, or maybe just 20.
Wow.
That was you?
Yes.
That was me. Look at me.
Yeah, you don't.
Oh,
Beautiful,
But
Margaret.
Helen, she puts things through the Helen machine, so anybody she draws looks. I mean, these are lovely people, but she sort of puts everybody through.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, captured that. Wow.
Wow.
Margaret, could you repeat that? I had to go get a piece of paper to write.
Sure. So on Columbus Day, Monday, October 12th, Helen is going to do a portrait drawing sketch demo at about 10:15, probably somewhere between 10 and 11:30 in the morning. And it'll be this same Zoom link. It's for the not watercolor sketch class, the pocket sketch class.
Wow. So we can all check in?
Yeah, you can all check in, join us, and see her just draw a little portrait drawings. I think also she might be drawing from, I won't find it now, but we found some fun pictures that references she might be using. So yeah, that's a demo, and I will see about recording it. I've got some hangups with the recording, but I will work that out. Now I'm going to come back to.
Thank you.
Certainly, you're welcome. Is everybody back?
I'm back. I was gone for a while.
All right, I'm gonna stop the screen. I'm gonna do this. Could we do a little more talking about each other or more introductions? That's what I think. And I really should have done it before.
Let's talk about each other.
There you go.
I know I asked Marianne to tell us a little bit about her art background, but then I wanted anyway. Can we?
Can I add one?
Yeah, go for it. I'm going to put you on the spot.
I became a grandmother for the first time.
Oh, wow, congratulations.
Yeah.
Can you see the child?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. Patient said, hand washing and with masks, and of course, fitting. So yeah, I've seen her quite a few times in the last couple of weeks. It's a granddaughter, my daughter's daughter.
Oh,
That is wonderful.
That's really special.
Figure out how
Exciting.
green. I have a picture I took on Monday.
Trina? The baby's name is Trina?
The baby's name is Marina. I said, and if I figure out, so, I don't know if I can do that.
I think I can, let's see, if I go to participants, there's some way I can make sure participants can share a screen, and I've tried to do it, but I don't know if I've actually seen it work.
Yeah, well,
Don't email me the picture?
Hmm?
Would you like to email the picture to me?
I can just do that.
Okay.
I'll do that right now.
That would be fantastic. Congratulations.
Yes, it's, well, those of you that are already there, you know what it's like.
It's wonderful.
Does she live near you?
Yes, she lives in Providence.
That's wonderful.
It's been, I wasn't able to go to women and infants. They don't let anyone in, but okay. All right, it's email on the way.
Right, let's see. Izzy, I finally got your emails after class yesterday. I'm not sure why they didn't arrive before, but it's sometimes hit and miss. All right.
That's okay.
I am coming back to the class, sharing my screen.
Oh,
Look at her.
Oh.
She's an angel.
Oh,
It's not very sweet. And that dress was my daughter's dress.
Oh.
So adorable.
Wow.
Hair. Look at all that hair. Love it.
Oh, I just love it. Oh.
Too cute.
Oh, that's
It's
beautiful.
hopeful.
Oh, thank you for sharing that, Marianne. Congratulations.
What's her
Thank
Marina.
Marina, that's right.
Okay. Jane, would you like to say hi and introduce yourself to anybody who doesn't know you and tell us a little bit about what you want from the class?
well, I did take your class before, and I wanted to get back into your class because it's absolutely enjoyable. As usual, I would like to free up and not feel I have to always be so particular. And then now doing it with the left hand has really helped with that.
But that's good.
Careful what you ask for.
I know. So that's, and of course the Zoom class now with the fact that the elderly have to be very careful. This has been a real social experience. So, but I'm loving the class.
Jane, do you also, have you been doing photography? What other kinds of art do you like to make?
I do photography. Yes, that's what I do. And I have been taking an illustrated journal class, so I've been doing the journaling as well and using what I've learned in your class with the journaling, which has been a big help.
That reminds me, there was somebody who asked and I wanted to refer them. Maybe I did. I said, check out the journaling class.
We have a good time.
It seems like a great class. Does everybody else know about the journaling class?
Mhm.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody want to pitch for the journaling class?
It's a wonderful class. I used to teach it with, who did I teach it with? Rhea. Yeah, it's great. And it's so fun. And then I heard about somebody who's done a pandemic journal that's so fabulous.
Oh,
Did
from
you?
our Monday class. It's
What?
fabulous.
Yeah.
Sandy Richter.
Andy Richter.
Okay.
It's the best I've ever seen.
Oh, wow. I'd love to see that.
And it's not like going to Italy, which she has also done. That's beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Now, what class did she do that in?
I think that Sandy did some of that in Open Studio.
Oh.
Maybe it was all Open Studio, but it might have also been Pocket Sketchbook.
We had to do a journal in the illustrated journal on the pandemic. We did it.
You did?
We did.
Oh, maybe you'll show it to us one day.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
And
I have to say though, I deviated from the illustrations. I don't know, when I first went into it, I thought this might be the end or something. So I did a little bit of scrapbooking in it as well.
Oh.
So it doesn't meet the entire criteria.
for our next class, I'd love it if everybody brought a little something that that they made that they like, and it could be anything, but a little something to give us some reference. I know some of you are beginners, so we can talk about anything, but I'd love to see your journal. Izzy, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us what you like from this particular class?
Okay, I'm Izzy Goff and I live in North Kingstown, Rhode Island. I love gardening and I love art. I did this.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
That's better than I.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Izzy.
Let's see. What else do I like? Well, that's all I like.
Your
And
dog.
I like
Dog and your family.
and my dog and my family. Yeah. So, what do I want from the class structure? I like that I have to come every day, the 2 days a week, and paint. I like that. And because I haven't been painting through the pandemic, I don't know if everybody else has been. It should have been a fabulous time to paint. And for me, it stopped me. So that was interesting. And it stopped a lot of my friends, actually. Somebody said to me they lost their mojo. I don't know. But that was
Izzy. I've heard the same thing from a lot of people. People say,
a lot of artists.
has anybody else experienced that? Like, gee, why am I not more productive?
Yeah.
I stopped doing yoga, and that is amazing.
Oh,
I'm
that's
back to it now, but I stopped doing yoga, and I've done yoga every day of my life for like 15 years.
Barbara, scooched on over to you. Will you introduce yourself? I mean,
I'm Barbara, and I haven't had my hair cut since December. I love Margaret's classes. I took one, I think about 4 years ago, and we always read poetry. And so I started using poetry when I would teach my yoga classes. And I found Mary Oliver and people like that. My goal is to lighten up and not be cartoony in my painting. And I'm just so glad to be home and have internet. And I think I'm on Zoom 12 hours a week now, but it makes me paint and I love it. So thank you. And I'm a photographer too.
and a photographer of what in particular, Barbara?
turtles, birds. I take almost all the photographs that we use in our turtle work.
Could you do
But
a one
You
sentence?
get all the credit, but it's really me.
Could you get the one sentence pitch for your turtle work?
We tag turtles in the Bahamas, and we've been doing it for 16 years. So we can follow their migratory patterns. And we educate the kids, but last year and this year we can't go near them. So, but we can still tag the turtles.
Thanks, Barbara. Chris, will you introduce yourself and tell us what you like from the class?
Well, I was an art major in college, but I never got any structure on drawing or even light and dark things. So it was sort of a free form, whatever you wanted to do. So it's really interesting for me. And I'm an interior designer. I've had various businesses for 40 years. And I have 4 grandchildren, which I adore, which can't come to see me this weekend because we have a high number of COVID in Rhode Island now, which is
Kids in
sad.
the college right next to me, Providence College.
Oh,
Oh, they're misbehaving.
he's so mad. Gina's so mad at them.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of ruined it for all of us, but I'm enjoying this class immensely. And I have a funny thing I found in this palette. Does anybody know what this is?
Yes, we do. Who wants
What
to
is
tell
that?
Chris what is that?
Do you know
And
what
Chris,
it is?
does it have another side? Does it have?
I think you put water in it and then you can put your brush in it when you're doing plein air.
But also,
Oh, okay.
Chris, the navy blue part,
Yeah.
just the navy part, does part of that twist open?
Well, I've been trying to, yes, there it is. It's got a point on it.
Oh,
So that's a masking pen.
Oh,
Oh.
I've
Or-
never seen that. Never even used it.
I was wondering if you filled the light blue part with water and screwed it onto the brush part, if the water would flow out and then you could put that into your paint. Oh, I should just show you exactly what I mean.
Oh, okay. That would help.
I'm gonna spotlight myself now. I've never practiced a lot with these because I just like my regular brush, but
Yeah.
you put the water in here and you put this in here and then you've got some portable water and then you can screw the cap on and
Ah,
it won't leak.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
cool.
so what do you use that thing for? The top, the point? Is it a brush?
Then you, it's a brush. So
Ah,
you can
okay.
squeeze the water from here and put it in the paint and
Because, yes, all right, that makes sense. Never had one.
we can play with it. You can experiment with it. You could
All right, I will.
experiment with it now, today. And so portable tool. So for this class, what would you like from us for this class?
Well, I'd like to learn more about the proportions, actually drawing and especially shading from light to dark has been very helpful. I missed the first 3 of the last class, so this has been very helpful for me. I love it. And can't think of anything else. except
Okay.
for enjoying it.
That's good. Sue, how about you? Will you introduce yourself? I feel like I'm meeting you for the first time. Is that right? Or
I came and picked up stuff on your,
yes.
that's the time I met you.
And I
and-
split you into 2 people. I thought you were Susan and a Sue, but
Right. No, it's just me. And I've been taking classes at Handicraft Club for probably about 6 or 7 years now. And I've been mostly doing painting and drawing with Ida. And I've loved it. I didn't realize how much and how important this was to me. But I thought I'd try some different things because I've been just limiting myself to having Ida as a teacher. And had heard wonderful things about you, and I thought it would be a good addition to the skills that I already have. The other interesting thing about me is that I share 2 grandchildren with Barbara Crouchley.
Oh,
that is so cool.
It really is. And I just saw them, Barbara. They're good.
You saw them? Oh, FaceTime. Good, good.
So they're all well.
Are they
How
close?
are they smoke? How's the smoke, Sue?
None today. It's nice. It's good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Steve says hi, Sue. He's
It's Mr. Barbara.
yeah, the turtle man. Yep.
Oh, I see him in there.
Hi, Mr. Barbara.
Hi, Steve.
Steve Cannett?
Yes.
You cannot remember me as Samantha. My last name was Coyd. I went on Geronimo. And
Oh, there you are.
Oh my God.
like, I don't want to say 30 years ago, but it was.
It was a while.
Yeah, a
Okay.
long time ago. Pleasure to see you. I'm great. I'm doing really
Oh,
well.
good. Where are you living now?
I'm in Barrington.
Oh, in Barrington.
Yeah, it's
Great.
right around the corner. We sail on the bay all the time, as much as possible.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, that's great. Well, good.
Nice to meet you.
Geronimo's up there at Cove Haven. You ought to stop by.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're getting ready to go.
The new boat.
Where are you going?
They're going to the Bahamas, I
They're,
think.
they're gonna run a semester, but they're not sure how far they're gonna get. I mean, they're safe on the boat, so once they get on board, that's good. And they'll try to go to the Bahamas, but everybody's worried about traveling and flying and
Yeah, it's
get
hard.
into the Bahamas and we get out. They're more worried about going to Florida.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I'll give Steve your email.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll do
Good to
that.
see you.
Good to see you.
Hi.
Sue, that was a nice beginning to introduction. Will you introduce yourself a little more and tell us about your interest in the class and tell us about this sailing? Do you sail every day or often?
My husband and I met sailing, and we just, it's our passion. So we have a little 34-foot sailboat, and in the summers, for as much time as we can, we spend it out, just cruising around. Our son is now 13, so he's
Oh, wow.
his level is like, his horizons are expanding. So anyway, that's just one of our great loves. But I took a drawing class in college decades ago and loved it and promised to come back to art at some time. And then after I had my son, when he was 6, there was one class that was available at the one time that I could take it, and it was an oil painting class. And I just fell in love with oil painting. And so I've been doing that on and off for the past, I would say, 7 years. And this is like a little sample. And Margaret, I love your paintings. So, oh wait, something happened. So that's sort of like,
Oh my gosh.
Good for you.
Oh, that's
Wonderful. Beautiful.
so I, like so many others who've already spoken, it's really helpful for me to have a class and to have structure. I still need the fundamentals. I have so much to learn. Watercolor is a completely new medium for me. I had taken 2 classes through RISD CE before it shut down for the pandemic. I have a little bit idea how the watercolors work, but I saw someone told me that the Handicraft Club was opening to non-members, and I was just totally excited to see the classes that were offered. And I love your painting, Margaret. So that you are teaching this was just a total delight. And it's fun to meet people and just have the structure. One thing that you mentioned earlier that I'm working on is what I call purge-fection, because I tend to get too tight with everything I do and too focused on like one little detail, and I need to just be much looser with everything. So that's my goal for the class.
I'm writing down purge-fection.
great word.
Purge-fection. Yeah, that's a great word. Yeah. Well, it's great to meet you, Sue. And so you don't know Barbara.
Yeah.
Did Barbara invite you to the class? No, it just.
Oh, I would have, but I didn't know her.
Oh, that's funny. Now I've lost track. Let's see. Oh, I think we're got Dee Dee. You're next.
Hi, I'm Dee Dee. This is Is this my second time in class? Susan Hanflicht invited me.
Is it your third? I can't remember. It
It
feels
may-
like you've
well-
been here for a while. Maybe it's not 3, is it? 3? No.
Well, I think it's 2. Maybe, no, I think it's the second time, yeah, because I did the summer. And I just, Susan Hanflick said that I needed to do it. I own a Pilates studio in East Greenwich, on the East Greenwich and Warwick line, and I tend to, I did do art before I went through RISD continuing education and did the decorative painting certificate program, which I went into paint and did murals and trompe l'oeil and decorative painting for a long time, and realized I was breaking my back, and then I found Pilates. So I've evened my spine out, and but I've enjoyed getting back to painting. I love Margaret's style. I find this class to be so allows me to let go and find myself again, and not have to be. I too want to be a little freer. I'm trying to be a little freer because I've had to recreate things verbatim in decorative painting. So it's nice to get back to being a little freer, and I love watercolor. And I too have one of these things.
Oh, good. Thank you.
With my little palette that I finally got from Wish. I ordered it back in March.
Wow.
Yeah, it came, but
Wow.
anyway, I've enjoyed meeting all of you. It's just been so fun. I look forward to this so much. So
Great.
Well, nice to meet you.
Sherry, you're next.
Okay. I'm just having a wonderful time doing it.
Ooh.
But anyway, okay. My name is Cherry Hall. I live in Middletown. I took oil painting from Margaret at Portsmouth Art Gallery eons ago and loved her teaching style. I did not continue with oil, but I do Chinese brush, and I'm studying with people from California right now. And this is a little tiny. I don't think you know
my gosh.
on rice paper with ink. But anyway, I've been working on that. I also do botanical drawing, and I love it. I've done several Zoom classes. I have a lot coming up. I love this class, to be back with Margaret, to be with Barbara, my friend. It's enabling me, it's making me paint, which I love. I love watercolor, but I need more experience, and I wanted, I've enjoyed everybody in this class, so supportive, so nice. I think that's about it. I have husband and 2 dogs, rescues from Anguilla in the Caribbean. And they're just wonderful dogs. And I read, paint, play the piano. I mean, I'm just keeping myself busy during this horrible time.
Thanks, Cherry. It's so good to have you back in class.
I love it. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And let's see. I think we have just Gail left. Is that right? And
Yeah.
hi, Gail.
Hi. Sorry.
No.
There's my guy.
Oh.
Gail, so
Wow.
good.
That's good.
But at any rate, I'm an architect. I studied painting and architecture at RISD. I'm more an oil painter, but that I found that when I started taking this class, in order to do sketching at cafes in Paris and Antique and wherever else, I found that I didn't know watercolor. I was terrified of it because I didn't think I did it really well. And Margaret has brought us along so well, and I feel much more confident with it. And I also found out that I calm right down when I'm doing it. And it's so easy just to keep all of my painting things out and be able to play with my paints and not even worry about it, because this isn't, to me, serious. It's meant to be fun. And so I'm learning a whole lot. And I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's so great to be here with everybody. Now it's 11:21. I have big plans, too many big plans. And I guess we didn't talk about, some of you drew her. I wanted to go in a different direction for a little while. I'm going to get rid of our faces and I'm going to close this. I'm going to keep her close at hand and bear with me. Nope. Get to you. Come here. No. Just trying to get to her. I'm going to close her for now. And I'll keep those up. Egghead closed, egghead closed. So I wanted to switch gears.
Oh, yes.
We did this on Monday. And so let's see. So I'm gonna switch gears with this guy and just look for this guy's middle. And this, we're seeing this guy in kind of 3/4 view. Or not quite 3/4 view, but let's see. So my drawing, I'm gonna do a shape like this. And I guess there's some body to it. And I'll draw right on here. I'm trying to decide, is his midline to the right or left? I'm gonna put him in a box. And maybe I'm thinking a little too hard. And where's his head? Let's see if it'll, yes, thank you. So I'm not going to include his eyes just now. I say him, because I think Deb referred to him as a him. Barbara, do you remember if this had a name?
I could look in my book.
Oh, I probably could too, except I don't think I
Yeah.
really.
No, I started a new book. I don't know where my old book is.
Deb's best friend is what I remember. Her
Friend. I
new
think I
best
wrote
friend.
Deb's friend. Yeah, I don't have it.
And
name, just Deb's friend.
yeah, okay. So here we see that the midline is a little over to the right. I think like where if the Deb's friend had a nose, it seems to me that that nose is farther to the right. So I'll draw my box and I'll put this line a little over to the right. And let's see, where's the eye level? I'm gonna use the computer to decide that for me. Or even I could say on my own square here, I'll make it a little bigger. On my own square, if I measure halfway up the square, seems like this is the middle. So there's the middle of my square.
Cotton monster.
Cotton monster. Thank you,
Yeah.
Barbara.
Cotton monster.
So on this square, Cotton monster's eyes are a little bit above the midline. I'm trying to find, show me. Oh, that's it. So, ooh, that one's right in there. So I'm gonna put, and this eye is beside the square, the way I've drawn it. So there's an eye out there, and then this eye is, it's really wide. Okay, and there's an eye over here, and 2 horns. We've got some horns up there. So we've got the 2 eyes. Oh, and the mouth, we can see that the top of the mouth is just under that midline. So that's helpful. And even this lower lip here, that looks about more than halfway up, or if this is the lower lip, let's see, somewhere, it's hard for me to describe, but just knowing that, okay, it's a little higher than halfway for that mouth, the open mouth, maybe it's the top of the lower lip. So a little higher than halfway. And I don't even think I have my box in the right proportion, but there we go. I've got my open mouth, and then we have some sort of hands there, arms there, and ooh, big eyes. And this nice V shape there, and little antler horns. Okay, And now some color. I've hidden my brush. Here's my brush. And nice straightforward blue. I want to, oh, and this is so much, usually I blot and I'm much drier. This is much wetter than I used to be. So wet. And I guess small, like I realize that mine is kind of large. Here's where I miss the little tiny, if I, oh, and there's my drawing from Monday. But in a smaller sketchbook, I feel like I don't really like committing to so large here. I'd rather do it small. Small, and I could do that red mouth. Oh, the teeth. The teeth must leave little white places for the teeth. And I want to make sure that corners of the mouth turn up just a little bit so it's a cheerful monster. It's very important. Made a giant mouth there. I'm mixing my ultramarine blue and my burnt umber for the darkness of the pupil. And make sure that, couple of teeth. And a couple of teeth over there. And a couple of teeth there. And kind of nice. Turning up a little bit at the end so we have cheerful monster. Ooh, and then maybe I want stripes down here somewhere. Stripe, 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 stripe. And you can put any color you like. Let's see, so his eyes have some sort of brownish around them. Ochre. Let's go ahead with the ochre. And then I'll put in a little more blue. Ooh, very okay. And then I'll do that warmer blue at the top. And now if we wanted to build the form on this guy, we could decide that the light is coming, and the light sort of is coming a little bit from the left. I could say, oh, the light's coming from the left. I want to show that in my drawing. Maybe I would wipe out some of this left side of the picture even. I don't usually do this, but so wipe out some of that. And then I could go in with more shadow on the left. So
what are you wiping with? Just like a paper towel?
Yeah, I had this paper towel. It was a little bit moist and my paint was still a little moist. And so I took that off.
Oh, all right.
And then maybe I'm mixing some ultramarine blue with a little bit of the, I think it's an alizarin crimson. I thought maybe we could go in the direction of purple to, maybe I want it to be really dark over here on the left. And a little darker over there. We could even add some volume to the ears by making it a darker blue on the left side of each ear. And it looks like I have to bring back a little bit of light on the, I don't want it too soaking wet, a little bit of light on the right side of the ear, so that the ears have a little bit of volume. Maybe that's it for the mod. Although maybe stripey fingers. They look like fingers. Little scrapey fingers, and then I'm gonna do more of a green blue underneath the body. So I guess it looks like the same blue. Oopsie. Yellow stripe. When I suppose I could get, so something about teeth, which normally it's a monster, but normally we think of the teeth as being really bright and white, and it's helpful here to give us that like partially toothless look. But if we wanted it to look more realistic, and we would take the bright white out a little bit. So I've got kind of a grayish. We would take that down, and maybe just on the right hand side, I'm going to gray out those teeth so they don't pop out so much. Certainly if it was a human being, you'd want to do that. And so I just grayed out the teeth a little bit for a more realistic monster. And then I'll go back in with a little bit of dark to get dark around in the mouth. Because if this is a value bomb with light on one side and dark on the other, then I want that to happen inside the mouth too. So I'm gonna get it a little darker in here on the right side of the mouth. What else could be fun with that? You could do that with the eyes too, with a little gray. Over here. What's great on this eye is, or I think the whiteness of the eye is so fading. So maybe I'll erase that out. Make sure, erase out my here and keep the high contrast. A little dark blue and a little dark brown. A little dark brown and now we can see that bright white eye against the dark. Shows up more. Oh, and mine is even like the perspective here is that this side of the head is closer to us, and so this eye is larger and this is farther away. And so I inadvertently exaggerated the perspective. I can probably kind of stop now, but maybe I'll just add a little bit more of this color so we can see. I want to see everybody else's pictures. All right. Okay. I'd like to come see everyone else's monsters or whatever you've drawn if you've decided to go rogue. Jane, do you have any monsters or anything else to show us?
I'm sorry. I can show you my goddess, but I just watched your whole demonstration.
That's fine.
Yeah. Oh, goddess.
Goddess is wonderful.
Great.
Oh, it is.
Oh, wow. Good goddess.
Wonderful drawing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And left-handed. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I forgot what
Recommended.
I already forgot that was a great job.
Thank you.
What about you, Izzy? What do you have for us?
I did that confusion picture.
Oh,
Hmm.
That was fun to do because I've been dying to do that.
great.
Yeah. And then I just started this. I'm fast painter.
Yes, you
I
are.
like that.
Wow.
And different than everybody else, I'm really loose.
You are.
I'm really loose, yeah. And I would say that's more of a problem, but I can do gold leaf painting. I can be not loose, but I prefer being loose. Anyway,
Great job. I love seeing both kinds of paintings
Yeah.
you did just now. Barbara, what do you have? What
Oh,
do you
I'm
have?
working on this little guy.
Oh, he's adorable.
He's coming along.
He is.
He's a postcard. I'm going to send him to the kids in California, Sue.
Okay.
Barbara, may I ask you a question?
Yeah.
We took the class together and you did the postcards, didn't you?
Yes, I sent one to Sue. I sent my hummingbird to Sue.
I loved that you did everything on postcards. That was wonderful.
And then I sent one to Izzy, I think, but I can't remember.
I think you did. I don't know if you sent it. You gave it to me, I think.
Oh, I gave it to you, but I've sent them to my children mostly
I
because
sent
they
mine
laugh that I'm Grandma Moses.
I sent mine to the 104-year-old lady and she wrote me a letter.
Oh,
Right.
How
Oh,
can that be? How can that be? Amazing.
oh, that's wonderful.
Yep, it was amazing.
Sam, will you show us what you've been drawing? Or painting, I mean?
Sure. So this is my lady.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Only has one eye because the paper was too wet to work with it. And then this is my guy.
Oh,
Cute.
Oh, he's cute.
Can I see more of these? Get more of whatever. Dee Dee, what do you have?
My people.
Oh,
Oh, I like how you got the brown.
I was working on like just finding the shape, and just pulling it in, not really just like seeing the dark and what kind of shape it made and just playing around with that. And then this is my little monster guy.
Aw.
oh, that's great.
great.
I need a picture of the monsters I need to look at that one eye on the right.
Yes, going off. And one thing about proportions that sometimes, like I noticed in your heads, maybe they need a little bit more head, like a little bit more hair to just that. You might want to add a little. Will you show them one more time?
My head?
The drawings of the heads or the, yeah, I think, and this is tricky because you might do this and then suddenly it might look like a child. But I feel like if the hair part got a little taller on the right, the drawing on the right.
This one?
No, the other one, other right. Yeah, I feel like I might try that.
Okay.
It'll also make it, well, anyway, and then it might make it look too young. So you'll find out. But I'm inclined to maybe add a little bit of the head, a little bit more hair,
Okay.
maybe. Cherry, how's your monster or what are you drawing?
I did not do the monster. I watched the entire demo, which was great because it's the turned head thing, which I want to try this next.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Very
wow.
simple, but anyway, I've just been working more on her.
Oh my.
She looks
That's beautiful.
Thank you. I love learning this. I think that I could actually do someday a portrait
Wow.
In the future.
Someday soon.
Oh,
Chris, what have you been working on the last few minutes?
Okay, I did, this is my,
Oh, your bus.
Oh, that's nice.
that was one of them. And then the brown one.
wow.
Wow.
Oh, wow, you really got that.
You're
So
a portrait.
The lips.
It's
I love
working.
it.
And
lips.
then I did the monster, but I didn't finish his little eyes yet.
Okay. Great. Let's see. Sue, did you paint?
I have,
Oh, look at that. Oh.
Oh, you got her.
and then I have this,
Wow.
and then I have the monster right behind it. So I did it. The monster I got really out of proportion. So
Oh,
That's,
what you got is the big mouth.
yeah,
yeah.
and the teeth. And I bet if you put some dark slits, you'll get the eyes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then that will say a lot. Marianne, what did you paint?
I did the little monster.
I love that.
And during the break, I did the heads.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Gail, what did you paint?
Hey, though, the exercise with the proportions really helped a lot
Yeah,
to get the shapes of the statues, get the face.
good. I feel like I can't do enough of those proportion exercises. Gail, what did you paint?
I'm sorry, I had to work for a few minutes, so you've already seen my Grecian head, but there's the beginning of a monster.
Excellent. I think you get those pupils in and you're done.
Yeah.
Let's see. So there's a little monster if you want to put some finishing touches on monster.
Great. That's what I needed.
Okay. Put some finishing touches on the monster. I'm gonna get in your way a little bit, but bear with me. Oh, so many choices here. So many. Oh, golly, how did I go so slow? And it's already 11:43. I'm gonna put up another one. Nancy Prophet. So it's a sculpture by Nancy Prophet, and who was the first African-American woman to attend RISD. And this is a sculpture using her husband as a model. And so I think I'd like us to work on him for a while, or you can work on anything you like. But I'm putting him up there too. Let's scooch this over here. Let's scooch our Nancy Prophet sculpture over there. And I'm just gonna text back the person who's trying to call me right now and let them know I'm not available. Okay. My little phone is getting hot. Oh. Look, so we've got this guy. And I feel a little bit like I'm beating a dead horse with the same proportions. It's also straight on, but here we are, and it's such a wonderful sculpture. Oh, and the way we approached this on Monday was, well, first I like to draw kind of a rough shape. Actually, I'm gonna do this in my smaller book. Well, no, I'm not, because I want you to see, all my thinking. So, but I will make the head smaller. And all right.
back and forth, small or is it larger? Make a rough size, make chin. I'm doing a line for the chin, a line for the top of the head. And I want to put a midpoint. Here's the middle of this. And then I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to use his whole head, not just, and I guess I did this before, but sometimes I just think of the skull itself. So often when I'm looking at a portrait to draw, I'm thinking about where the skull is, and I might be thinking to myself, well, I think it's, his skull is probably up there somewhere, and this is his head. But in order to draw from this, I'm just thinking about from here to here, and I want to measure, so if our midline, center midline is there, I'll scoot it up a little bit too. Halfway in the middle is right above the sort of top lid of the eye. I'm gonna move that so you can see, but so that helps me to know that this halfway up line is just a little bit above the tear duct. Kind of want to check that again, but I'm going to do it sort of manually by holding my fingers up to the screen. So I know that halfway between the chin and the top of the head, the eyes are just a teensy bit lower than that. And then we can put the brows up higher. And I will go ahead and put this vertical center line there. Something else I do that's hard to describe is I will take a measurement, often from the widest part of the cheek, and I sort of take that measurement, and then I'll compare it to the rest of the head. So I do it by, okay, I'm going to show you this just so you know. I think, and so if you see my screen there, in real life I would, well, not real life, but let's say real life, a photograph, I'd put my pencil on the left side of the widest point of the cheek and my finger on the right side, and then I turn it and say, okay, that gets me up above his brow, about, and so maybe it's sort of 1 2/3. Just to get a rough idea of how wide is the face, and it's not a particular exact measurement, it's just a habit of mine to maybe go for the width of the cheeks. And that way I can say, well, if that was about 1 2/3, then maybe it's like that. I don't know if that will make any sense to you, but if I know the height of my head and I looked and the width of the cheek seemed to be about 1 2/3-ish, then I'll put that in. And then I can see that actually the head's wider up by the temples, using that sort of guideline. His ears seem to be, can look and see, well, where are the top of his ears line up?
By his eyes.
My God,
Yeah.
Sort of amazing.
that
I had
is.
it down by his cheeks first. I had to erase it.
And then we can ask about the nose. What's this distance between nose and chin? I kind of want to scooch my chin. Seems like I want to lower the chin a little bit. What is this distance compared to everything else? You might have your own method for sort of compare. Maybe you compare it to how far it gets there, or how much, if we divided the head into 3, 1, 2, would that be 1/3 of the, maybe just about. And then could decide, well, where are the lips within the chin there? It's sort of closer, and the nose. How high, thinking about that nose, I know. Where would you say, where would you want to put the mark for the nose? If you're thinking about the eyes, the middle of your, is anybody thinking analytically like, okay, the nose goes,
2/5.
tell me again?
2/5.
2/5 of the whole head?
from the eyes to the chin.
My God.
Yeah, I think I got lost.
I can't do it that way. Isn't that interesting? That's why money's not perfect.
Or wait, everybody's got a different method, and sometimes like the measuring can help, but then it can also break a person's brain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm more breaking the brain.
Okay, then don't sweat it if that's the case. Only use it as much as it's helpful.
It works.
Yeah.
I wish I could do it that way.
Discard if it doesn't.
From his forehead, it has that extra thing on it.
I think
Right.
that's hair.
No, there's not hair. It's skin, isn't it?
Oh, you mean like right here?
I mean, like
That's
up there. Yeah, the whole extra. He must be very smart.
I think that this is a hairline. Sorry, it's a little crooked.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. And he went bald?
No,
Well,
this is
It's wood.
this is all his hair.
Yeah.
He's
Oh.
got like maybe a neatly trimmed partial. Sorry, that didn't help. But I
Huh?
think that this is the shape of his hair on top of his skull. So his skull is probably up there.
So they didn't put it in, is what you're telling me.
Or that is that's the shape of his hair, but she didn't model it like hair.
Oh, okay.
Maybe very kind of neatly shaved, but in that shape. Does anybody else have some thoughts on this shape up here of hair?
Yeah, that looks better.
I think it's taller above his skull,
Yeah.
raised above his skull.
Yeah. Maybe it's like really dense hair, but it's shaved into that precise
Very,
shape.
very sculpted.
Yeah, I think it's like a really close shaved afro.
You do?
Yeah.
I think he's bald.
So it's
No?
a funny shaped head for a
Okay.
ball. But that's just my opinion.
We could, oh, and
But he's got like a widow's peak. Isn't that
Yeah.
what it's called?
Yeah, he does a little
He
bit.
does, that's right. Oh, well, let's put that in.
Yeah. Let's get that feeling of it.
and this realistic wooden portrait after her husband, Francis Ford. The purposeful exposed tool marks that are distinctive to, I'm going to click on it and read to you about Nancy Prophet. Nancy Elizabeth Prophet, 1890 to 1960. Nancy Prophet modeled this realistic wooden portrait after her husband, Francis Ford, employing the purposeful exposed tool marks that are distinctive of her body to her body of work. A Rhode Island native, Prophet carved this sculpture when she was living in Paris and working primarily in dark hardwoods. The material which here allowed her to enhance the stern, meditative, bold lines of her husband's face. Prophet described this piece as representative of her own determination and aggressiveness as an artist. In 1918, Prophet became the first woman of color to graduate from the Rhode Island School of Design. I really liked hearing that about her, what it meant to her.
Yeah.
I'm going to move some of these lines.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
You're welcome. Oh, and I gotta get some cuts. 11:55, and there's no color on this. Okay, so I'm now not looking carefully, and I'm just adding ears. And next time we'll talk a little bit about femininity and masculinity and what makes what, because
we could talk about how he's got some aspects to him that are, oh heck, I'll just say them because I'm right here, and I will, bear with me. I want our Greek goddess back. Come here, you. Back she goes. I'll get her out of your way though. So his neck is a little narrower than hers, and so a narrow neck tends to look feminine, and his jaw is more articulated, which can sometimes also look more feminine. Whereas, yeah, never mind. Maybe not. Sometimes an articulated jaw looks masculine too. So I'll just say the thing about the neck. So the slightly narrower neck can tend to look more feminine. And the careful delineation around the eyes, especially the upper lid, sometimes that dark line can look feminine. It's sort of mimicking mascara or eyeliner. On the other hand, the softness of her chin, a soft area around the chin can look feminine, but the wideness of her jaw compared to his, that can make her look a little more masculine. I know Barbara mentioned briefly femininity and masculinity, and one of our students in the last class asked the question and I forgot to answer. Let's see. Nose. We want some lips in here. Lower lip, middle lip. Don't want to turn the lip up because she said she's looking for that sort of sternness, gravity. Okay, I want to see what I can do in 3 minutes with color, and then I want to see what you guys have somehow managed to do. Get it away. Do a little bit of sienna. Oh, such beautiful colors in this wood. I'm going to do burnt sienna with a little blue, but then I think I'll also, in the light, maybe go more ochre-y. So, maybe more umber too. And blot, 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 and just, I'm going to try to be a brute at first, like just where, or if I have to put shadows in, where the shadows go. The whole, I kind of want to put top and shadow and everything. I guess more sienna would make it more warmer. My burnt umber is really cold. Let's just darken under the nose and the whole right side of the face. And then, and I noticed the left side is sort of dark too, but the right side is more dark overall. Lights on the right, shadow on the left. A little bit more of him. Come on, no, just show me more. He wants me to draw. I don't want to draw. I'm done with drawing. No more drawing. Let's make the image bigger. No. Okay. Never mind.
Oh, God, so wet. I don't want to paint so wet.
I get excited and then I paint wetter.
Yeah,
I think
me
that
too.
helps.
What helps?
The wet helps.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, and genuine proper watercolor, it would be really wet. So that's certainly legitimate. I was trying to stick to just my group. Where are the lights? Where are the darks? But then I found some details. Started finding details. No, but really, for what I'm interested in is simply kind of this light side, dark side, and maybe a little bit more modeling, but not too much. I guess since it's such a lovely shade of wood, I will try with my ochre. Oh, no, it's 12. How did that happen? Okay, I want to come. If you have a moment, I'd love it if you'd stick around and can you hold up your whatever you managed to do in this few minutes? Oh, they're beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, wow, you got it.
Fantastic. Wow. Great.
You really got his head.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
you got his head.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
And the reason I wanted to squeeze this in, as some of you know, is I feel like if we try something quick at the end of class, maybe I keep you quick all through class, but I really like seeing what you come up with. Okay, I guess that's it. It's 12:01, and I will see you next week. And I think next week we'll meet at 9, but then at 9:30 we're going to take a virtual tour at the RISD Special Collections Library with the Special Collections Librarian. And she's going to take us into the bowels of the library, and she's going to pull out some sketchbook facsimiles. So we'll meet at 9. Homework. If you have time to do homework, make some sketches for us of any sort of faces or just eggs, or get to know your paint boxes for those of you with new paint boxes. And we could look at the beginning of class. And at the beginning of class, so we'll look at some work if you have anything you'd like to show us, but no pressure. And then we'll also talk about how to draw from artwork we're seeing. Then we'll go to the RISD Museum.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Sweet.
Thank you very much.
So much.
So much fun. Loved it.
You all.
Thank you.
Thank you.